各位观众，大家上午好。我们现在是在第13届中国航展的现场。
From Zhuhai City, and this is in Guangdong. And you're looking at this is the 13th China International Aviation and Aerospace Exhibition, or Airshow China, will conclude it here. And this is South China's Guangdong province. And today is the final day of the event. And looking at this is from a well-known aerobatic team. The name is the August 1st Aerobatic Team of the Chinese People's Liberation Army, or PLA. So we talk about how we enjoy this kind of show. Of course, it should be a visual feast. So we're looking at the airspeed. Should we talk about that? A fast it can reach, a more breathtaking or stunning show it can provide. And also we talk about looking at the aircraft. The aircraft should advance enough for the pilots to perform different aerobatic figures. So actually from this kind of the air show, you can know exactly the performance or functionality of the aircraft. You're looking at this is J-10, we believe, as the J-10 fighter. And that is also a homegrown aircraft, and this is the third generation of the J-10 fighter. So looking at actually very short distance, it can perform a start and taking off. So looking at a big angle for taking off and racing up. So looking at just requires very short distance, it can take off. That also show you that this can quickly join the force up in the air, and also we talk about the advanced functionality owned by J-10. So looking at actually they're taking up in different batches. You're looking at three. So in the two batches. So looking at they kicking up in this small triangle. And then very soon they will join in different formation flying. So you're looking at, once again, this is the August 1st Aerobatic Team of the Chinese People's Liberation Army. You're looking at this is a formation consisting of 3 aircraft, and very soon they will join together to perform different formation. So looking at this is actually, it's not, we talk about, although yes they're moving, but display a different motion. So looking at right now, they quickly to the 2 triangles to 1 triangle. So this is kind of a dynamic plus static mode. So looking at right now, they are ready to perform a formation flying, traveling, and maneuvering. And we talk about today's weather, it's quite helping. So looking at later on, we'll show you spectacular view. So it's blue sky, white cloud. And wind today is a little bit strong. That will for sure bring some impact to the aircraft. So the pilots, they need to always keep a close attention to the formation or the distance between each other while adjusting the position based on the wind speed and the wind direction. So they're forming a strong triangle, and right now you're looking at it. This is a traditional way to say hi by aircrafts or by these squadrons. So they first pay respect and say hi to all the spectators. So looking at it in this formation and flying horizontally across the spectator stand. And you're looking at the change another formation while climbing. So just now we saw all these aircraft that's just 60 to 100 meters above the ground. So this means low altitude flight. Right now it's a new formation flying. You're looking at actually this formation where we talk about distance between each other is quite close. This is very tight formation. So that's how showcased the superior skills owned by the pilots. We talk about this is the J-10 fighters can reach so fast airspeed. So these kind of a very tight formation or so close distance, well, flying in a fast speed require the top skills owned by the pilots, and also that showcase the good formation maneuvering skills or maneuvering functions of these fighters or aircraft.
对，刚才我们讲了这个飞机的这个优越性以后，我们就要讲驾驶员，因为再优越的飞机，你也要靠优秀的飞行员。
So looking at this is make another turn and then this climb. We talk about the pilots of the August 1st Aerobatic Team of the Chinese People's Liberation Army. Looking at them, they're not just pilots, they also trained as a fighter pilots. So they made a zoom clap, looking at the distance between each other, just 1 meter. And for this kind of formation, you're looking at, of course, it's just for the show purpose. Of course, you cannot stay this close to other countries' aircraft. For the air show purpose, it's more for the viewing purpose. So this is really good to see, and also this is a skill required for the pilots to operate a jetter. And also we talk about this require a very strong and smooth chemical among pilots. Look at this is a big angle zoom climbing, and this is in a triangle formation flying as well. Looking at the skills owned by the pilots, it always show that their bravery and always challenge their extreme. We talk about that extreme not only to their physical side, but also to the mental side. So just for an outsider, you still can tell that the aircraft flying at a very fast speed, and also this is really challenging, and we talk about quite a risky movement. And also, I believe that a viewer can see it very clearly because today we have the visibility, and you can see that white smoke, that's the airflow. And also, right now, surprisingly, looking at their landing gear actually is folded. So we talk about normally when you see the landing gear folded, which means aircraft are prepared to land, right? But right now you're looking at this just in the middle of their performance. By putting the landing gear folded, we believe they will perform some special figure. Right now you're looking at this is the formation flying, traveling, and maneuvering. So they make a turn. Let's see why landing gears folded. So looking at
航行灯打开就是示意它准备着陆了啊，就是因为气压换来了，其实它是而是给你
the navigation light also on. Of course, it's not for landing purpose. Hear that sound? And also looking at that spectacular figure. So this is actually showcase that strong psychological strengths and also physical strengths, as well as their skills and also the functionality of the gliders. So looking at it by making a landing gear down, it's not for landing purpose, but also show you that the aircraft can fly at a low altitude with the landing gear down, and also can make a different movement. Looking at this is a zoom on, a zoom climb. In a very short time period, at a very high altitude, by putting the landing gear down, it can change a flying or air route, and also very quickly to a low altitude and then make a land. So this is something very special for today's show. All right, we can see right now they're changing another formation. Right now you're looking at this is the 13th China International Aviation and Aerospace exhibition, and today is the final day of the event. So you're looking at right now this is the Aerobatic Team from the August 1st Aerobatic Team of the PLA. With the colored smoke belt, and then make a turn. So looking at their formation fly, traveling and maneuvering just actually finished in a very disciplined, synchronized and predetermined manner. And from this angle, you're looking at they almost fly on the same horizon or same level. So looking at this is just perfect triangle. By the way, think about this. The airspeed is very fast, which means that they should pay so close attention to the distance between other. And also we talk about that a figure or aerobatic figure is not just flying horizontally. They make different turns, different rollings, different loops, spins. We talk about like looking at just like 6 aircraft as one. But we talk about when you see this so synchronized manner, which means that they actually need to think about when they make a rolling or springings. They have different the radius, so that for a flight they need to keep distance while also make sure that they roll like here is like the wind over, like they're rolling at the same speed, and also when they make a turn. Looking at this is a drop and a diving, and also from a falling leap to a spiraling.
因为大于30度角的这个机头向下大于30度角的这种飞行叫做俯冲，那么小于30度角，比如说我们从民航上到机场着陆的时候呢，这个叫下滑。所以它在战术上攻击的时候，也是俯冲攻击，就是它大角度的向地面的目标。
So just now looking at that's a diving, that's the aerobatic figure's name.
这样可以速度快，而且是这个近距离的打击，但是这个对飞行
So that's by performing the diving figure that requires so high skills. to the pilots, make sure that they can falling down in a very short time period at fast speed, while they also can control, which means that they can control the aircraft to stop to the desired altitude. Otherwise, they will hit the ground. Looking at it right now, making different formation. So it's a formation of 4 aircraft. So that's the formation flying consisting of 6 aircraft ended, and coming up will be the different maneuverings performed by different number of formation flying. For the formation flying in consisting 6 aircraft, will show you that the discipline and synchronized maneuvering. And right now, looking at the aircraft performance, and show you the skills. And this is a nose-to-nose flight. It seems like they're approaching to each other, and when they're so close, and they make a cross and then climb, and this can be considered as one of the most challenging, dangerous figure. And the airspeed reached 1,400 kilometers per hour, and also the aircraft or the pilots actually flying at a very low altitude because the spectators can see the movements very clearly, but that's actually add additional challenges to the pilot. So after the nose-to-nose flight, right now looking at the 4 aircraft, and right now they flying in the formation called the human pyramid. So flying in the pyramid formation, it seems like they fly in a straight line, just with a very short distance between each other. And they change another formation. So looking at it from pyramid to this kind of like a diamond shape, just so fast. And also show you that the manufacturing, maneuvering the performance. And looking at this is the inverted fly and also the horizontal rolling. So that also can be considered as a barrel roll. And also see the a consecutive rollings performed by the pilot. Today's weather is so helping, so we can see that the colored smoke from the tail of the aircraft and also aircraft themselves so clearly. And also you're looking at, this is the aircraft, the Aerobatic Team from the August 1st Aerobatic Team of the Chinese People's Liberation Army. And for the pilots, not only have the male pilots and also have female pilots as well. And also looking at this is flying at a very slow speed, well, in a very stable manner. So slow airspeed also required high skills of operating the aircraft. So we'll talk about that slow airspeed. That's also the extreme speed of 200 kilometers per hour. And we talk about why flying at a slow airspeed is very challenging. We talk about that you always need to control to that the edge speed, because that when you later on, if your speed is below that the required lowest speed, we talk about just now 200 kilometers per hour. If you're below that threshold, then it shows that your speed loss and then your engine could be shut down. So this is also required a very high skill owned by pilots, so they can reach to 200 kilometers per hour and also maintain the aircraft at this low speed. And right now making a landing here, looking at this is a short, where we talk about a short airspeed air route landing. So which means in a very short time, short distance, the aircraft can make a land. So that's a short air route landing. So that's performed by one aircraft, and later on they also show you in different formation landing as well. So just now we saw the small air routes landing. And right now you're looking at this is first the 4 aircrafts make the formation flying, traveling, and make a maneuvering, and then they will make a landing. And for landing, it's also the small air route landing. We talk about passenger aircraft, of course, that will be not short air route landing, that will be a long distance landing. But for gliders, for fighters, for bombers, the short air route landing is required and also very necessary, especially for the battlefield. So looking at right now, they're making a different the aerobatic figure, looking at making the wing over. So first climbing and then a wing over, spiraling, and they will have a very nice 4 flowers. So looking at that, the color smoke. And also the landing gear is done. So which means that ready for landing. So looking at this is to make a big turn and make a short air route landing. Of course, it should slow down the airspeed for landing, but of course, I should above 200 kilometers per hour. Otherwise, it shows that the speed loss, and then the engine could be shut down. Looking at that, preparing for landing to landing actually just required less than 1 minute.
如果民航的话，还要就是放没放起落架是个重要问题。如果忘了放起落架，地面会给它红色信号弹。但是我们看到这些飞机已经在空中把起落架已经打开，并且打开了航行灯。实际上就是告诫啊。
So when you see the landing gear is done while the navigation light is on, it show everyone the signal that this aircraft is ready for landing.
其实它有意识的，就是把这个前起落架放得晚一点形成一个机身的仰角，然后这样可以增加它的阻力，然后缩短它的在跑道距离上，就是滑跑的这个距离。
So looking at the nose landing gear actually is put on the ground very slowly. We're quite late. That means that kind of give the aircraft more resistance, so that can lower the speed in a fast manner. We talk about 2 days ago, we saw 2 female pilots in this aerobatic team. And also today, we believe we'll also see the presence of female pilots.
飞行员呢，不但要求就是身体的素质要非常好，同时呢，他的心理素质要非常好。这个要达到这样一个标准呢，一般的是比较难的。
We talk about we also have a booth at the Zhuhai Airshow China for recruiting a pilot. We talk about today, we not only focus on the physical strengths of the pilot, we also put another eye on the psychological quality of the pilot.
就是要2.0、1.5以上的，这个一般的就是飞行员必须。所以我们现在有些中学已经开始就是直接就是故意招一些就是从身体素质比较好的，就注意养成他从当飞行员，所以他身体素质比较好。比如说我去过的郑州9中，他的这些学生是从整个河南省招来的，他们的身体素质。
In some middle school, and they also have the class intended to recruit some potential pilots. So they focus on the students' physical strengths and also give them a training while in the middle school for additional courses.
不是一般人都能当飞行员的。那么飞行员是不是也会分为等级啊？初级飞行员、中级飞行员、高级飞行员，是有这样的一些分配的这样的一些定级吗？
当我们要把一个学
So
生
from a greyhound, a student, to a strong eagle pilot. So they need to go to the Air Force Aviation University. Later on, you will see the PLA Air Force Aviation University's Ride Falcon Air Demonstration Team. This is kind of the specialized university to train pilot. And also later on, you will see the aircraft used is trainer aircrafts. So for the Greyhound, if you want to one day become one of these well-skilled pilots, and you need to first own, of course, knowledge and the basic skills, and then you need to train with a trainer aircraft. So that start from GL8, that's the aircraft for training purpose, and then to the GL10, that's another that we talk about is kind of like the small J-10 fighter aircraft. So that's JL-10. That's for also the training purpose. And then they can train with the advanced aircraft. So that required many hours and many years of training for one student to become a well-trained and well-skilled pilot.
前几天在我们这个现场，我们也看到了歼20的这个精彩的飞表演。
通过这样的飞机的这个变化，我们已经看到了，就是人民空军的装备的这种变化。因为
Looking at this is the third generation of the fighters. So this is a single-engine lightweight multi-role fighter capable of all-weather operation.
好的，我们现在看到8一飞行表演队的 歼十飞机已经慢慢的
Looking at the J10 right now, parking to.
我们的这个航展的主要的一个停机坪。
They're parking upon.
我们那个短片
And let's also first look at some highlights of the performance made by August 1st Aerobatic Team. To all the viewers, right now looking at this is the live coverage brought to you by CGTN New Media and the 13th China International Aviation and Aerospace Exhibition, or Airshow China, will be concluded in Zhuhai City, South China's Guangdong province. And today is the final day of the event, and right now you're looking at this is the team from the PLA Air Force Aviation University's Ride Falcon Air Demonstration Team. And the pilots actually are the instructors from this aviation university. And also the aircraft they use today is a JL8, or we call it that's a trainer aircraft. We talk about from a green hand of the pilot to a trained pilot. They first, after acquired the required knowledge, and they will get on board with JL8. So the JL8 is a two-seat jet trainer. So for normally when they do training, the students will sit at the front seat or nose seat. The instructor will be on board at the back seat. So today, all the performance will be performed by the instructors from this aviation university. And we always talk about the learn from the best. And right now, this is show all the viewers what instructors can do. And when we do the comparison between J-10 fighter and GL-8, of course J-10 is fighter, is for the real battlefield. So that show you more the maneuvering skill, show you that the different figures. And we're looking at this is the JL8 that's more emphasis on training purpose. So that will not really show you a lot of the tough part. That show you that the very simple movement, but also we talk about basic maneuvers and also the tough maneuvers. And the GL8 airspeed will be less than 1 latitude of sound. And here first, as always first say hi and pay respect to the spectators and viewers. And this formation is also with its own name. That's the formation called Ride Falcon. That's their name of this demonstrating Aerobatic Team. And this is the first demonstration of the Aerobatic Team. The route or the process to train a pilot. We talk about if one person is so smart and can learn the skills so fast, but at least they require 800 flight hours. We talk about that the instructors are very important in cultivating pilots. So we talk about 800 flying hours. That's a must. So looking at the team was newly formed in 2011 and is composed of jet-powered JL8 trainers. The Ride Falcon is composed of 8 aircraft and 18 instructor pilots. And also looking at this formation is also with its name as Eagle. Or you can consider that's the formation as a sword. We talk about this is not just a simple show. First, of course, it's an air show, it's a demonstration show, it's aerobatic, the figures for the spectators, but that also showcase the functions of the aircraft and also that dream and passion of the whole industry. If you want to be a pilot, you need to have a very strong body and also a very strong mental state. And also need to train for many, many hours, many years, and also require 800 flight hours. So looking at they have a different formation changing and performing the formation flying, and they change their formation in a very short time period. So that be really precise. And also looking at their colors. So the aircraft are painted in an overall white with blue and red highlight colors. The aircraft are also equipped with smoke generators which can produce blue, white, yellow, and red colored smoke. Right now changed to a diamond formation. So this is a very iconic formation flying for this team. This is a ride Falcon demonstration team from the APLA Air Force Aviation University. And this is also showcase that very good chemical going on among pilots. We talk about this is in total 8 aircraft with 18 instructor pilots. You're looking at they keep changing the formation and also keep changing altitude. I always show you that the high skill or advanced skills owned by the pilots and also the good functionality of this flight. Once again, this is the aircraft. That's the GL8 trainer aircraft. So the aircraft, actually, when they keep changing formation, in different formation, this also require the pilots to always keep a very close eye on the performance parameters. And we talk about this is the demonstration made by the instructor, and also this is a good example to their students. And looking at this is the discipline and synchronized maneuvering. We're looking at a lot of this kind of the aerobatic figures. The flight actually it's flying at the edge. We talk about what it means the edge flying. So they actually challenge themselves to the extreme. So we talk about sometimes they fly at the extreme low airspeed or low altitude. And also in this kind of very tight formation flying, and we believe very soon they will make a tumbling. They're now making a very big climb and then make a tumbling, and right now you're looking at the colored smoke, and then make a climbing. And then to an inverted direction because they need to reach a certain altitude. And right now you look at this is inverted tumbling or inverted flight. So this gives you a big loop. Very nice trajectory. Another race up or climbing. But looking at no matter what kind of movement they are doing, they always in this synchronized and disciplined manner. So this gives actually the viewers very spectacular, joyful. So looking at right now they change to different formation. And we talk about not only aircraft can make a different formation flying, and also we talk about that the colored smoke actually also can leave a different shape up in the air and with a background color of white and blue. So coming up will be a formation flying consisting of 2 aircraft. We talk about this kind of the aerobatic show. not only show you the basic maneuvers, and also show you the very challenging movements, because that want to show the viewers what the aircraft can do. This is JL8. So very soon we will see that nose-to-nose flight, I believe. So that's also another iconic maneuvers, or the aerobatic figures. So they first to the both sides of the runway, and then they will approaching to each other nose to nose. So we talk about the J10 also make a similar movement. That's the airspeed up to 1,400 kilometers per hour. So that's 700 kilometers per hour for each. Right now you're looking at this nose-to-nose when they're so close to each other and they make a cross and then climb. So for JL8, that may not reach the same airspeed as J10, but for JL8, right just now it also reached the speed of 500 kilometers per hour. So in total 1,000 kilometers per hour for both. So looking at in this very fast short time, just I believe that when they crossing, that's just less than 1 second, but give you that passion. And right now looking at this is a formation flying consisting of 6 aircraft. So this show you that a disciplined, synchronized flying manner. And you're looking at this is a horizontal, or we talk about that's the wing over, that's a horizontal rolling. So this is really high requirement, because you're looking at that rolling, actually it seems like 6S1. So this is highlight last the synchronized manner. So with one order given, all the flight we're looking at, this is 6 aircraft. They make the movement as one aircraft. So this is the consists of 6 aircraft. And then coming on to us is the 2 aircraft. Right now they are doing this rotation. So looking at this is the spiraling and the rotating along the axis. So looking at the main aircraft, or the axis, that's in color blue, and the other one making that rotation, that's in color white. We talk about that the blue with the blue smoke. You can consider that's the leading man, and the rotation one, that's the wingman. So that's for the rotation, make like the S-shape rolling. So you need to keep a certain distance. So looking at that, the blue, that's a straight line, and then the white smoke, that's make this rotation. And we talk about that's S-shape. So looking at that's the aircraft, keeping moving forward while making that rotation. Looking at this is zoom climb to a very high altitude, and then looking at make this diving, and then a beautiful flower. So after making this flower, they make another climbing. So looking at this is another 2 aircraft.
现在我们可以看到的是一个7号机和8号机的一个双机。
So they make this tumbling. So looking at it so close to each other. And looking at this trajectory.
那个双机之间这个距离也是有要求的，是吧？
对，因为它们离得越近，那这两条线就。
So judging from a trajectory in two different colors, you can tell how close they are between this leading flight and wing flight. We talk about leading man and wing man.
动作。每一个动作展示的不仅仅是飞行员的超人的胆识和精湛的技艺，同时也折射出当代空军人的精气神儿。
我们看到现在飞来了5架飞机，现在是依次排开向我们飞行过来。
好，5机，它的彩色。
And now coming to us is the information flying and traveling of the 5 aircraft.
好，长机旁边的3号机、4号机同步的拉起。
And 2 aircraft climbing, and right now looking at making another rolling. And right now the 3 aircraft flying ahead, 2 aircraft alongside the wingman, and so we're looking at the 2 aircraft make another wing over. So we talk about the aerobatic figure, this kind of wing over or a horizontal rolling. Required really hard work and also a good cooperation among teammates. 800 flying hours is a must. That's the threshold. So we're looking at these kind of the instructors. That's the top level pilots. We talk about they fly in a quadrant. So we talk about that synchronize. It's very important. That's we require that every pilot actually at the same level in terms of skills, so they can make this kind of very tough maneuvers. And then coming to us is a single aircraft. So let's looking at what kind of maneuvers will perform. So it's a zoom climb. So that's make a hesitation roll. We talk about that hesitation roll, which means that the pilot can control exactly the angle of turn or the angle of rotation. So it can make first 90-degree and then stop or pause a little bit and then make another 90-degree turn. So looking at this is a 3 aircraft making a rotation along the axis. So this is a cross, also rotation along the axis, and then leave at from 3 different directions.
刚才这个3机交叉的这个动作，就是在于单机绕双机密集队形进行超半径的同滚之后，要迅速的调整位置哈。对。然后同样的一个平面，相对速度完成快速的交叉。
就是它要求这个高度非常准，这样才能给底下的这个观众视觉，他们是在同一个点上。
同一平面。
So we talk about this real required accurate altitude control. So the spectators from their angle, they can tell that the aircraft fly at the same level. So looking at this is another rotation. So that white smoke as the axis and the other 2 aircraft with yellow smoke make their rotation. So that's around 4 loops.
留下的是，哎，完美的。
How beautiful it is.
今天的这个珠海的天气还是非常不错的啊。
然后我们看到现在这个场上的观众还是非常的热情啊，打着伞。
Looking at it, there are a lot of spectators waiting here to enjoy the show, and we talk about today is a final day of the event in Zhuhai. And right now, looking at it, this is a single aircraft. It's climbing
是一个单机的表演。
and make a rotation, a consecutive rotation, while climbing.
但是呢，它不是一个爬高，而是在滚动中啊上升它的高度。
And then to a diving. And then another formation of 3 aircraft.
调整高度。
First need to change the altitude. So that's climbing. And then a flower to different direction.
其实就是像刚才一样，建立了一个3机的一个分开。
Or we talk about that split.
刚才我们可以看到，红鹰飞行表演队进行了一个3机的向上开换，然后做了一个筋斗，哎，拉开了。
So after split, they make a tumble.
今天也是。
So coming to us is a formation of 4 aircraft.
但是实际上这个我看风速还是比较大的，因为这个就是拉的烟呢很快消失了，说明它的这个。
吹得很快哈，现在是一个4机的向上的剪刀，
So that's first make a Caesar.
刀叉的一个动作。
所以大家现在这个图案看到是2把剪刀。
So looking at actually that's 2 Caesars.
烟袋。
这个动作的看点是4架飞机它高度还是比较低的，相对的速度又大，就超低的交叉之后，另2架飞机垂直的跃升，哎，值得看。
So that's low altitude flying, crossing, and 2 of 4 aircraft make climbing. So that's make this trajectory of 2 Caesars.
爱国者的事业，然后今年的中国航展恰逢国庆哈，我们看，尤其在国庆的当天，很多的老百姓都是手里拿着5星红旗。
And today is the last day of the 13th China International Aviation and Aerospace Exhibition, or Airshow China, as also coincide with China's national holiday. And 2021 marks the 72nd anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. And this low altitude nose to nose. And then with 2 aircraft climbing.
所以它现在形成了一个4级的剪刀叉，这样从观礼台或者是说这个观众的上空通过了。
其实刚才从肉眼当中看，这个飞机的间距几乎是为0的。
它还有一个。
离得很近了，非常近了。
它要么保持一个高度差，要么保持一个水平差，它一定不能在就是既高度在水平上啊，又。
So judging from our bare eyes, it seems like there is no altitude or height difference. But we're looking at that for the aircraft, of course, they should maintain either the altitude intercept or the horizontal distance difference. So they need to keep differences either in height or in the horizontal distance.
今天的这个可能是被这个风速很快就吹走了哈。
And wind speed today is quite strong. So that is why you're looking at that the colored smoke.
被称为是丘比特之箭啊，丘比特之箭是一个经典的一个动作。
Is dispersed very fast.
在场的，哎呀，现在在现场又看到了一红漂亮的5星红旗。其实，如果信念有颜色。
We talk about that yesterday. The Aerobatic Team make a very special show, that's a very touching moment, They made a qubits arrow. So it's two aircraft that make a colored heart shape. Another aircraft fly across through that heart. So that's the arrow of love, or the cubic arrow. They show their love to the spectators and also to their motherland. So this is a single aircraft, make a climbing and then make an inverted flight and then make a tumbling. Right now it's making diving. So that's backward flying. So from the white colored smoke from yellow to white colored smoke. So it's the first to make the climbing and then a tumbling and the backward flying. So it's the horizontal rolling or the wing over. So that's when the pilot performing this movement, then it bear that 5G payload. And also when they make a wing over, we talk about this kind of rolling, rotation, and they always need to keep a very accurate So they have a very strong skills in identifying that the sky, earth, the direction of right or left. So we talk about for the pilots, no matter what kind of like spins or rotations they're performing, they always can tell the right direction. Coming to us is a formation of 6 aircraft. Right now they're climbing and a big flower. So that's a split or big flower made by 7 aircraft. So that's a big feast to the viewers and also the spectators. So once again, this is the APLA Air Force Aviation University's Ride Falcon Air Demonstration Team. And we talk about the pilots actually are the instructor pilots. So from their demonstration showcase that they of course own a very solid basic maneuvers. And also can perform the different high skills required aerobatic figures. Right now see that the landing gear folded. So that's a big angle turn, followed by the short air route landing. So looking at already landed. So this is a Ride Falcon Air Demonstration Team. So this is another new aerobatic demonstration team of the People's Liberation Army Air Force. So for their landing, it's also a big turn first, and then a small or short air route landing. So for GL8, not really need a parachute. We talk about parachute basically for a slow down the speed. But for GL8, first, its airspeed is not as fast as J10, and also GL8 is also lighter weight, so it can control its speed and can slow it down by itself. So that is why GL8 do not need a landing parachute.
飞机的下降的这个角度还是比较大的，所以它的这个降下来的这个着跑道的这个时间呢是非常短的啊。因为我们看到跨过这个
So looking like making a big turn and approaching to the runway and then land. So over these days, especially after a public day, we saw so many young generations. So it's a very good opportunity for the young kids to know, to learn the key progress made by China, and also to experience by themselves, to see it very clearly at the latest homegrown aircraft.
我觉得从这个历届的航展呢，走到今天。
And this is the 13th China International Aviation and Aerospace Exhibition. From the very beginning, we imported the aircraft models from other countries, and later on, we made our self-designed, developed aircraft. So you also not only can design, and also you could manufacture the aircraft. We talk about that. You also need to produce material required to make aircraft and also engine as well. So you can assembly. So from the very beginning, from the design phase, from a scratch to finally these kind of aircraft. We talk about right now, we're coming to the third generation of J10 fighters, or right now we also have J20. We talk about we already undertook the 20 the time era of the aviation and aerospace exhibition. We talk about 20. Actually, think about it in the name like J20 or Y20. So that's all with that 20 in their name. So that is why we talk about the aviation and aerospace industry right now entering to the era of 20. And also we don't know the kids right now in this venue. Maybe some of them with a dream career as a pilot, as an engineer, or as a scientist. But this is a very good window for them to learn a reality and also experience the stunning show. I believe every viewer or the spectators here have their own feelings after enjoying this spectacular display in the blue sky. But we're looking at it, this is a very good opportunity for everyone to experience the beauty of the aircraft and also the science and technology progress made so far. So Airshow China actually also the good viewers to witness the whole historic progress made by China's aviation and aerospace industry. We talk about right now, we just saw J10 and J20 is displayed in the hall, and later on, maybe in the coming Airshow China, we could see that J20 could be the one making this kind of airshow performance. We also witness the great achievements made by our motherland. So when we see that the advanced equipment, aircraft, I believe everyone very proud of the country and very proud of the pilots, and also is a good way to show the patriotism, and we also showcase the China's solution and China's wisdom. So right now, the Ride Falcon air demonstration team finished their performance. Right now, parked at the apron. So they're so close. You're looking at the pilots wave their hands to the spectators. They're just so close to each other. We talk about that they are the instructor pilots, but looking at they just in their 30s. So looking at actually still very young faces actually. So in their 30s to 40s, but they actually already with more than 1,000 hours of flying. So they actually equip themselves with abundant knowledge and also rich experience in flying. So we talk about this is in total 8 aircraft and 18 instructor pilots. And because of the COVID-19 precaution, they only can keep this distance. And before, in previous years, actually the pilots can get into the crowd. So this can be considered as a greeting moment. So meeting and greeting between the pilots and the crowd. And before, because the pilots could get into the crowd, so it also kind of like a Q&A session as well. Right now you're looking at this is the Ride Falcon Air Demonstration Team from the APLA Air Force Aviation University. And the team was formed in 2011 and is composed of jet-powered GL-8 trainers. The Ride Falcon is composed of 8 aircraft and 80 instructor pilots. We talk about with the hard work, with arduous efforts made, that human beings, pilots, can make different aerobatic figures. And looking at their formation, flying, traveling, and maneuvering always in a disciplined and synchronized manner. So they always can perform that 8 aircraft, but the movement just as 1 aircraft. So 8 as 1 movement is really tough.
信念有颜色，那一定是中国红。好的，今天红鹰飞行表演队的这个表演也已经是全部的结束
So
了。
looking at once again, this is the right Falcon Air Demonstration Team. Let's look at some highlights.
飞行表演。好的，各位观众，我们航展来自前方的飞行表演的解说也是全部的结束了。我们明年
And that does for today's Airshow China broadcasting.
央视新闻的观众，大家好，我是总台央视记者杨宏洋。我现在所在的位置呢，就是我们中国航展的停机坪上。刚才您看到的画面呢，是一架刚刚结束完飞行表演的固定。
So to all the viewers, right now you're looking at, and we're looking at this is one just the made this flight, and right now on its apron, and also we're looking at the a smaller aircraft in this apron, and show you some behind the scenes story. So this aircraft just finished today's air show. The show lasted for 10 minutes. So looking at this aircraft required 2 pilots. Right now the aircraft parked here and then to the designated apron. So we talk about aircraft, actually it's not like the parking a car. So you cannot really do not the reversing or back a car. So this required the pilots to plan the route to park the aircraft to the designated parking apron or the parking slot. So first you need to cool down the aircraft for 2 minutes. So that's also for the purpose to protect the aircraft, and then follow a standard working process. Looking at right now, the cockpit already opened. So it's a very smooth day, right? Yes. So right now to drag the aircraft to the parking slot. So this for the traction purpose. So this is kind of a puller. So because this is a really small size aircraft, so we can pull the aircraft to the designated place by hand. So right now looking at is push the aircraft with the hands of 4 people here. And now to park the aircraft to the designated place. All right, to the designated place. Looking at it, 2 technicians with 2 pilots.
咱们现在在做一个什么工作？
细流，飞机有这边有细流孔，然后3点细流之后再停到地面之后，防止风把飞机给吹。
So we need to first fix the aircraft, make sure it's not moving. So looking at it, in total 3 points.
飞机的尾翼部分。
So one at the tail part, the other 2 points at the wing part. So we need to like tight with the rope, make sure that it fits so well, so
机长今
the
天怎么样？飞的？
aircraft will not move.
我们知道今天
So for
现在开
today,
始
it's really
进入这个
nice.
公众开放
And
日
we
啊
talk
和
about
之前的
today
专业日
is the
比
public day
咱们这个飞行表
as
演
well
不太
as
一样
it's our
在
public
上
day.
面看到这个视野来讲，
So compared to the previous
我们没
day,
关注下边的视野，我们只是关注我们正常的一个
we not really split our attention to the ground. So for us,
关注日跟专业日是
it's always the same because we always keep a close eye and also very concentrate on our flying. We keep a close eye on the parameters. So it's like first we make our movement to first say hi to and also show respect to the spectators, and then second to the a climb, to a zoom climb, and then to the a sharp turn,
上很晚安的一个要升，然后呀还有一个大盘
and then to a spiraling
60-70度大幅度一个盘旋，这样呢体现我们
to show the a performance of the aircraft. So we look at actually the airspeed, acceleration, and also the horizontal maneuvering. And looking at these aircraft,
整个的从各方面的操纵性，还有机动性、安定性各方面都是比较综合指标比较高的。
so this is quite nice and very strong in a flexibility
一般的
or agility
机动性
and in maneuvering
它的可控性、
and from the a perspective of operation.
我们也是看了
I
这
can
些
tell
展
this
说我
one
们
is
这个专业
perfect.
飞行表演队有空军的飞机，然后有大飞机，还有 AG600像这种功能性飞机。我们这种通航的小飞机其实也是航展上一个非常大的亮点。
是的，是的，是的。我们通航呢，实际上也有好几种类型的，比如我们讲专门做特技的。
So for this kind of aircraft, we have this one that's for the short distance
它做短途运输的
transportation.
小客机或包机的这种形式，但是它的机动性和整个的飞机的可操控性
Looking at the operation wise and also the maneuvering wise, this is very nice, although it's just for the purpose of short distance
操纵
a transportation, but actually this is very comfortable
很
on
多观众对我们
board
这种小的这种固定翼飞机
and
还是
very
比较陌生的，能不能
stable.
带观众了解一下这个飞机。
啊，这个飞机很好的。我们这个飞机呢，全重起飞是2吨半。
So the a takeoff payload is around 2
是
tons.
在燃油方面呢，我们就是说加满油将近300公斤的话，可以最大行程达到
The
2300
farthest distance can reach 2,300 kilometers, fly 8 to 9 hours, and can up to 6,000 kilometers.
我们讲螺旋桨靠
And it's 2 engines,
特别省油。
so it's a very
经济性
a energy saving
我们的飞机呢
aircraft.
除了正常的我们全仪表之类，我们除了正常的自动驾驶仪啊、空调啊之外，我们这个飞机除冰、气象雷达、DCAS 就是我们防相撞系统，
And also equipped with different advanced system like TACUS.
几乎跟我们大型机，
So it's actually same as the a
特别是很安全。
large size aircraft.
可以可以，好，好，好，我们可以接下来
So let's take a closer
机
look
场继续机舱看一下。
inside the aircraft.
来，我们让视线上去。好的，稍等。
So this is more like first is the seats for the
我们座
pilots.
上的布局呢非常合理，它有一个共同的特点，一个是中央驾驶杆，然后呢2个人可以
So we have the
飞
a
行体验，也可能一个地方，也就是一个座位进行机长一个飞行，也可以到
the aircraft can be controlled by 1 pilots or can be controlled by 2 pilots.
我们的主要的仪表像起落架这些
And like the a landing gear and the buttons and also the engine buttons also at the bottom.
重要的一个
And also looking at we have
机的监控
the a
都在这块儿，啊，所以
control pole. We have a share one, and also the aircraft also can be controlled by one pilot. So looking at judging from this control panel, looking at we have a quite the systems in place, so the aircraft are capable to flying in day and night time. So the lighting system, air conditioning, and also we have the A system for de-icing as well. And looking at the A2 paddles.
其实也不是像我们平时理解的一个驾驶这个踏板，一个踏板是油门，一个踏板是刹车，不是。油门其实是通过这个推杆。
So it's not like the car actually accelerators in the middle, and for two paddles as for braking purpose. And also the action bars or operating arm. So we have a chief pilot that's on the left-hand side, and the pilot on the right is more for the communication and other purpose and jobs. And we talk about the aircraft can be controlled by either pilot on either side, or can be controlled in a connected manner by two air pilots.
您能不能从这个上来为大家演示一下，就是咱们在飞前的一些准备工作？
So for the preparation or for the preparation for taking off, we have the standard working process. We always follow that process. So basically we check different system, and also we check the appearance of the aircraft. We have a list to check the different parts and different systems, looking at all the buttons. So from the right to the left, from bottom to top, we have all sort of the standard process. So we always strictly followed our guidelines. And also the handbook. So this is strictly stipulated in our handbook and also in the law as well.
可能很多观众看完这个连线直播之后，会有些人可能他有幸就是有这个志向成为像这个飞行员，然后从您的角度。
So let's say our viewers right now with a dream of becoming a pilot one day. So what kind of training they need to go through? So let's say if the pilot is your dream career, first you need to pass the physical test. And also we have designated the physical checking hospitals. And then to the knowledge learning process, to pass the test. And then you come into the flying course, and then you need to with a coach first, and then fly by yourself. So if I want to get a flying license, what I can do? So you can get a license from different the aviation company. The airline company can are capable to issue the license to the eligible personnel. Of course, you need to pass the exams. And for the lessons for the business aircraft, we have the certain places to train the pilots, and also you need to pass the required exams. So what's the feeling flying up in the air? Would you please share with us? So it's totally different two concepts in terms of taking a aircraft or flying an aircraft in the air. If you not have your passion, we're not really interested in piloting an aircraft, it's impossible for you to finish all the courses. So you need to have a really thorough studying. So you need to first equip yourself with your knowledge, and then you need to train for many, many hours. And also you have the really hands-on experience to make your own flying style. So besides the 2 seats for pilots, and also we have the seats for passengers. What kind of preparation we need to do as a passenger? So for passenger, very simple. So we need to first give a very simple training to the passenger. We talk about when the emergency happened, what kind of the work you need to cooperate with the pilots for this kind of a small aircraft. So this is a small aircraft with a fixed wing. So there are 2 seats at the back for the passenger. So 2 seats at the front or at nose place for pilots. Or if you have 3 passengers, then they also accommodate 3 passengers. So basically 1 pilot with 1 passenger at the front seat and the other 2 at the back seat. So very comfortable, quite a wide room inside. Very easy to get in and get out.
其实像本届航展呢，参加飞行表演的飞机的种类非常的多，不仅有我们在我们的转播公共信号里面看到，像我们这个81和红鹰的专业的这种空军的飞行表演队，还有像我们的一些这种功能性的飞机，像国产的大飞机，AG600，它能够执行这个应急救援呢，还有。
So we talk about the AG600. In the previous air show, we saw that this made the first debut by dropping waters. So we talk about AG600 for the disaster relief and rescue work, and especially for the forest firefighting purpose. And this is from the air apron.